What is required for us as leaders today is we have to bring a different level of intentionality with our actions to curate culture. What do I mean by that? It's more work. We need more from people, not less. But we can no longer extract more. This goes back to the theme, the way we're working is not working. There's not a single leadership group that I'm with right now that's not like, we've got big goals, big visions. I need more from my people, not less. And they're already burnt. I already see how depleted they are. I can't extract, squeeze out of them. How many of you feel like a wash rag that the water's been wrung out of? Like somebody's been squeezing every last drop out of you. Or maybe you feel like you've been doing that to your team. We've got to move from extraction into this idea of engagement and efficiency. How do I help people tap into regenerative work that fills them up, work that activates them, work that speaks to them, works that help them know that they matter, the work that they do matters? And then how do I empower them to do more with less without it burning them out? And you know how we do that? Technology. And this is where, Dr. Dana, it's a beautiful call out of like playing with, giving yourself permission to play with something like ChatGPT. I'm not here to say like it's gonna save and solve all of our problems. It's not. But there are places where it's like, that's interesting. Where might that free me up? But that doesn't negate the fact that there are still a whole bunch of things that I can't control. That can be totally true. And yet, even in that, there's a whole bunch of things that you can. And as you move in that direction and your courage and capacity to step into your agency grows, imagine if your whole team, everybody's moving through the world with a mindset of, I am a force upon the world. I am a force upon our communities that we serve. You know, oftentimes when we're trying to shepherd our teams through challenging and difficult moments, they're looking to us for clarity, aren't they? Clarity about like, where are we going? What does this mean for me? Why are we doing that? And we think that we need to be able to logically lay out that path, and we do. We absolutely do. But while our people need our logic, our ability to articulate with clarity, they also need our humanity. No wrong answers. Vulnerability. Isn't that a beautiful demonstration of what that means? I think a lot of times it's hard as leaders of like when people, because it is like one of the number one requests of what people want in their leaders today. But oftentimes I think we're like, but what does that actually mean to be vulnerable? Like, it's not great for me to start every meeting in the morning crying, even though I feel like it. And so then we go to the other extreme of like, I can't show any emotion, right? Because what? Because we think about this idea of, I need people to remain confident in me that I can lead us to the future. And so we're always walking this line between demonstrating competency and instilling confidence, but letting people into our heart a little bit. This is embedding inside a culture a high degree of psychological safety. And for many of you who are students of leadership and culture know, psychological safety is number one driver of high performance teams. It's not a soft thing. And it's 30 years of research to back that up. In fact, if I went around to each of your teams, like one of the things I would look for is, how safe does this team feel? How safe do they feel to throw crazy ideas out there, to challenge, to push back, respectfully, bring new ideas to the table, to fully show up as themselves? What are our habits on a consistent basis that help us feel connected to one another, that support belonging? That it's not why we do it, it's who we do it for. Despite the runaway success of Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, which we all know and are familiar with, it turns out, new research has revealed, it turns out that we are actually less inspired, less motivated by an inspiring why, and more moved by a compelling who. And last but not least, help your people find their love. Right? I'm finding my love. Now I'm going to help them tease their out. What do you love? How to help you do more of that? But you can't help them find their love if you don't have your love. You can't be a loveless leader trying to ignite your people. You have to be the genesis of the love.
And how many of you have been around that person before? You're just in their environment and you're like, let me get a little bit of that. Let me plug in, right? You plug into the wall, your source, I'm gonna plug into you and I'm gonna pull some of that. A nurturing act of expansion. Everyone that's around me, what does it mean? They grow. They're better for having interacted with me. That's your prompt. Be proud of the work that you do. It's the most noble work. It's a ripple effect into other people's lives.
And I want you to recognize as you leave here that the future of work is not some fixed state. And it's not being built by some group of scientists in some far-off lab that will create and then dictate and tell the rest of us about what the future is going to be. The future of work is created with all of us in this room, with every decision that we make, every action that we take, the stakes we put in the ground about the type of world that we want to build. The future of work will be built in the coming decade, and we in this room are the architects. We just have to be brave enough to build a version we can be proud of, and I know you're doing that. Thank you for the work you do. Thank you for the opportunity. Have a great rest of the conference, gang. Thank you so much. Thank you.